I would like to tell you about my personal experience growing this rose before you plant this rose in your garden. This one I have growing very close to the house, so it gets a lot of winter protection and a lot more heat in summer. This is what it looked like last year, and how it usually looks when in bloom. Now take a look at this year. It looks very different, doesn't it? One of the most interesting aspects of this rose is gone. That beautiful ombre pink to white color. So you might be asking, well, what's going on? Like I was. And I think it's because of the weather. Normally we have a gradual fading of winter to spring, and it kind of just got hot all at once. Like we didn't really have that gradual warming of a cooler spring. It got hot pretty fast. Notice how this one bloom under the shade of the one above it has better color? By the way, that's Raspberry Cupcake and Poet's Wife in the foreground. So a little while later, this is what happened to it. I wouldn't call this balling because the flowers did bloom, but then they kind of got crispy and just are staying on the plant. And if you look at the leaves look distressed. I know the rose slugs really went to town on it. I don't really spray. Maybe I'd consider spraying for them, a natural product. But it's such a pain to get under every leaf because those little suckers hide under there. But I just found it fascinating what was happening to this rose because I never saw it behave this way before. I still find it kind of charming and beautiful still, even though it looks kind of skeletal and sickly. I think this is still some nice structure, and maybe from a distance it kind of looks like there are pretty flowers there, even though they're dried up and damaged from the heat probably. So this is something to keep in mind if you really want a rose that's going to provide you reliable color. It might work in your area, in your soil, in your sun conditions, shade conditions. I'll show you one I have in shade because it's actually kept its color better, but it's just not as vigorous. First, here's what it looked like last year. The large weeping cherry tree blocks a lot of morning sunlight and late afternoon sunlight. And this is what it looked like this spring. Even this one in the shade is much less colorful than last year. Come to think of it, a lot of my David Austin roses especially were pale and bleached out this spring. So if you want to still grow Eden, go right ahead. It has big beautiful blooms, petals that are substantial and last for days and days, as long as the conditions aren't too harsh like the one I have by the house. This rose on the right is Summer Romance Climbing Rose, and I'm basically having a summer romance with it because it is doing so good this year and it smells amazing. Alright, I'll end this video on Eden and we'll talk about more roses next time.